Step Docs Education. We are continuing with ordinary level chemistry. And let us look at this topic here, which is ionic chemistry. And qualitative analysis. So, this is our topic, ionic chemistry and qualitative analysis. Now, you can see that as per our heading of the topic or the title of the topic, we have two things here. That is ionic chemistry. Then we have qualitative analysis. So we are going to look at them one by one. First of all, let us look at what we call the ion theory. So we have what we call the ion theory that was put forward by a man called Arrhenius. So the man is called Arrhenius. And he put this ion theory in the year 1880 after the birth of Jesus, that is AD. According to the ion theory put forward by Arrhenius in about 1880 AD, we have what we call ionic compounds. So Arrhenius found out that the ionic compounds are made up of some charged particles, and the particles are: one, we have the positively charged particles, and then we have got the negatively charged particles. So Arrhenius found out that in all the ionic compounds, which we have talked about in some sessions before, we have the ionic compounds consisting of both the positively charged particles and the negatively charged particles. That is, in every single particle of an ionic compound, we have got both the positively charged particles and the negatively charged particles. So, the positively charged particles are called, or he called them, the cations. And the negatively charged particles are called the anions. So, this is what Arrhenius came up with. So, in full, let us try to see this in writing. So, according to the ion theory, put forward by Arrhenius in about the year 1880 AD, all ionic compounds are made up of both positively charged particles called cations and negatively charged particles called anions. So this is what Arrhenius came up with, that in every ionic compound there are the positive particles called the cations. These are positive ions, and then we have the negatively charged ions or particles called the anions. I want us to see this. If I have an ionic compound like sodium chloride, under suitable conditions, you'll find that in sodium chloride, we have got the sodium ions, and then we have the chloride ions. Both of them are there. So the sodium ion is what we call the cation, and the chloride ion is what we call the anion. So both of them are found in this ionic compound called sodium chloride. I want us to remember that an ionic compound consists of the ionic bond, and it is formed between an atom of a metal and that of a non-metal, or a group of atoms of non-metals. So in this case, this is what we call an ionic compound. So it is made up of what we call ions. The positive ion or the cation, and the negative ion called the anion. Let us look at another example. If I have an ionic compound like copper 2 sulfate, this copper 2 sulfate consists of copper 2 ions, and then we have the sulfate ion. Both ions are present in copper 2 sulfate. So the ion theory put forward by Arrhenius states that any ionic compound, or all the ionic compounds, are made up of the cations and the anions, both of them. Now there is one thing which is very interesting here, that much as the cation is positively charged and the anion is negatively charged, if you try to work out the number of positive charges and negative charges in a given ionic compound, you'll find that they are the same, and therefore they neutralize to give us what we call a neutral ionic compound. So in sodium chloride, we have one positive charge here on sodium ion, and then the chloride ion consists of one negative charge, and in the whole of sodium chloride, this one positive charge and the one negative charge cancels and give us a neutral sodium chloride. Even in copper 2 sulfate, we have two positive charges on copper 2 ion, and then we have got two negative charges on the sulfate ion. So they simply cancel and we get neutral copper 2 chloride. So I don't want us to forget this, that in every ionic compound we have got both the cation and the negative and the negatively charged anion, and since they have got the same number of positive and negative charges, we find that they simply neutralize and give us a neutral ionic compound. So that is what we call the ion theory. So in ionic chemistry, in this case, we shall be dealing with the ions, and in most cases we are going to look at the free ions which are found in this cation, in these ionic compounds. Those free ions, we shall see when they become free, or under which conditions, under which suitable conditions do they become free. And then we shall also look at what we call qualitative analysis. So there are so many ionic compounds that we are going to look at. So think of sodium chloride, think of copper 2 sulfate, think of magnesium carbonate, which consists of magnesium ion, and we have got the carbonate ion. Think of, say, calcium nitrate, and this calcium nitrate consists of calcium ion, and then we also have 2 nitrate ions in calcium nitrate, as seen from the formula of calcium nitrate. So there are so many other ionic compounds, and we shall be dealing with them all under what we call ionic chemistry and qualitative analysis. So that's what we call the ion theory, and that's what we call the ion theory put forward by Arrhenius in about 1888 AD. Depth Education, thank you for watching.